The office lights flickered off one by one, leaving only the glow from my computer screen illuminating the empty cubicles. I was wrapping up the quarterly report, my fingers flying across the keyboard, when Liliana appeared in the doorway, her silhouette sharp against the dim hallway. Without a word, she closed the distance, leaned in, and kissed me a kiss that tasted like forbidden secrets and unspoken promises, sending my world spinning into chaos. My heart pounded as I pulled back, staring into her eyes, those deep brown pools that had always commanded respect in board meetings. What the hell was that? I whispered, my voice barely audible over the hum of the air conditioning. Liliana, my boss of 3 years, the woman who'd mentored me through promotions and late-night strategy sessions, just smiled faintly, her hand lingering on my cheek. But in that moment, I didn't know that this kiss would unravel everything: my career, my family ties, and the fragile identity I'd hidden for so long. I drove home that night in a daze, the streets of Seattle blurring past my windshield. Why me? Luna Evergreen, the reliable accountant who'd climbed the ladder at Technova by keeping her head down and her personal life locked away. I'd always admired Liliana Vargas from afar: her poise, her sharp intellect, the way she navigated the male-dominated tech world with effortless grace. But admiration wasn't supposed to turn into this, was it? At home I collapsed onto the couch, replaying the scene in my mind. Her lips had been soft, insistent, carrying a hint of the red wine she'd sipped during our impromptu after-work chat. I'd frozen at first, then responded, a surge of heat betraying the confusion roiling inside me. I'm straight, aren't I? That's what I'd told myself for years, dating guys like Mark from marketing, even if those relationships fizzled out without passion. But Liliana, she made me question everything. The next morning I avoided her gaze in the elevator, my stomach twisting into knots. She acted normal, discussing client pitches as if nothing had happened. During lunch she cornered me in the break room. About last night, she started, her voice low. I couldn't hold back anymore. You've been on my mind, Luna. Her words hung in the air, heavy with implication. I mumbled something about needing time, fleeing back to my desk. Inner turmoil consumed me that week. Every email from her felt charged, every meeting a test of composure. I thought about my parents back in conservative Idaho, their expectations of a traditional life: marriage, kids, the whole picket fence dream. Coming out, that would shatter them. Dad's church friends would whisper, Mom's bridge club would judge. And what about my job? Office romances were frowned upon, but with the power dynamic. If this went south, I'd be the one packing boxes. Yet I couldn't deny the pull. Liliana invited me to dinner that Friday, framing it as a team-building thing, but we both knew better. At the upscale Italian place downtown, over pasta and candlelight, she opened up. I've been married before to a man, she confessed. It was a mistake. I was hiding who I am. Her vulnerability cracked something in me. I shared my own doubts, the crushes on girls in college I dismissed as phases. By dessert, our hands brushed under the table, and I didn't pull away. Walking to her car, she kissed me again, this time in the shadows of the parking garage. Felt right, terrifyingly so. But as I lay awake later, guilt gnawed at me. Was I betraying myself by denying this for so long? Or betraying her by hesitating now? The weekend brought no relief. I scrolled through old photos, seeing the forced smiles and pictures with ex-boyfriends. Deep down I'd always known, but society's script was easier to follow. Liliana texted, "Thinking of you." I replied, my fingers trembling. We met for coffee Sunday, talking for hours about dreams, fears, the weight of expectations. Monday morning, reality hit. Rumors swirled someone had seen us leaving the restaurant together. My coworker Jenna pulled me aside. Be careful, Luna. Liliana's got a reputation for mixing business with pleasure. Her words stung, planting seeds of doubt. Was this genuine, or was I just another conquest? That evening, Liliana called me to her office. We need to talk about us, she said, closing the door. Her expression was serious, almost pained. I care about you, but this could cost us both. I nodded, my mind racing. The company policy was clear. No fraternization. But the heart doesn't read memos. As we discussed boundaries, her phone buzzed, a text from her ex-husband, visible on the screen. We need to meet. The kids miss you. Kids? She hadn't mentioned that. My stomach dropped. You have children? I asked, voice cracking. She sighed, explaining the divorce, the custody battles, how she'd hidden her sexuality to protect them. The revelation hit like a punch. Here I was dipping my toe into this world, while she carried the scars of a double life. Shame washed over me for my naivety, for the risks she was taking. But attraction warred with caution. We agreed to keep it secret for now. Weeks blurred into stolen moments. Lunches that lingered, texts coded in work jargon. A weekend getaway disguised as a conference. Each encounter deepened the connection, but the secrecy ate at me. Lying to friends, dodging family calls, it felt like living in a pressure cooker. One night, after a passionate kiss in her apartment, I confessed my fears. What if my parents find out? They'll disown me. Liliana held me, whispering reassurances, but her own demons surfaced. My family cut me off when I came out. It hurts, but you survive. The first crack appeared at a company event. Her ex showed up uninvited, causing a scene. You're ruining our family, he shouted, eyes on me. Whispers spread like wildfire. Back at work, the HR email arrived. An anonymous complaint about favoritism. Panic set in. Was this the beginning of the end? I confronted Liliana. Did you promote me because of this? She denied it vehemently, but doubt lingered. That night, alone, I wept, torn between love and self-preservation. The HR meeting was a nightmare. The sterile conference room closing in like a trap. We've received reports of an inappropriate relationship, the investigator said, her eyes piercing. Liliana and I sat separately, our stories aligned in careful neutrality. It's all professional, I lied, my voice steady despite the storm inside. But walking out, I felt the weight of deception pressing down, wondering if this was the price of forbidden love. Liliana pulled me into a supply closet afterward. We have to be more careful, she whispered, her breath warm on my neck. But caution felt like a cage. At home I paced, inner voices clashing. How could something that felt so right demand so much hiding? I'd always prided myself on integrity, yet here I was weaving webs of lies. Family dinner that weekend amplified the torment. Mom's questions about dating hit like accusations. When are you bringing home a nice boy, Luna? Dad chimed in, his conservative views on full display. These days, with all this woke nonsense, people forget traditional values. I nodded mutely, choking back the truth. Inside I screamed. I'm in love with a woman and it's tearing me apart. Liliana's world intruded next. Her daughter, Sophia, 10 years old, called during our secret date. Mom, when are you coming home? The guilt in Liliana's eyes mirrored my own. Co-parenting is hell, she admitted later. My ex uses my sexuality against me in court. Her vulnerability drew me closer, but resentment brewed. Why drag me into this mess? Society's gaze felt omnipresent. At a pride event we attended incognito, I saw couples holding hands freely, envy twisting my gut. Why couldn't that be us? But back in the office, a colleague's offhand joke about dykes in tech made me flinch. The prejudice was subtle but insidious, chipping away at my resolve. A major project deadline loomed, forcing us to work late. Tension simmered as we argued over strategies, our personal frustrations bleeding in. You're too cautious, Liliana snapped. Like in everything. Her words cut deep, exposing the cracks. That night in her car, we made up with apologies and kisses, but the fight lingered. My best friend Rachel noticed the change. You're distant, Luna. What's going on? Over coffee, I confessed partially seeing someone complicated. Her support was a bomb, but she warned, if it's your boss, that's a recipe for disaster. Her words echoed my fears. Liliana's ex escalated things. He texted her threats, demanding more custody unless she straightened out. She broke down in my arms, sobbing. I can't lose my kids. Holding her, I realized the stakes. Her family versus our love. Was I selfish for wanting this? The company retreat in the mountains was supposed to be a break, but it became a battleground. We shared a cabin discreetly, stolen nights fueling passion. But during a team-building exercise, her hand brushed mine too obviously. Eyes narrowed, suspicions grew. Back home, an ultimatum from HR. Separate or face consequences. Liliana fought it, citing bias, but the writing was on the wall. I won't let them dictate my life, she declared. But I wavered, thinking of my career, my future. Inner conflict peaked during a solo hike. Why fight for something society deems wrong? But memories of her laugh, her touch, argued back. Love isn't a choice, it's a force. Liliana proposed a solution. I'll quit, start my own firm. The sacrifice stunned me. For us. She nodded. But doubt crept in. Was this manipulation? A family visit forced confrontation. Mom found a photo on my phone, us at the retreat, too close. What is this? She demanded. Tears flowed as I came out. I'm gay, Mom. And in love with her. Shock turned to anger. This is a phase. Think of your soul. Dad's silence hurt more. We raised you better. The rejection burned, but a spark of defiance ignited. I wasn't broken, society was. Liliana supported me through calls, but her own battles raged. Court date loomed, her ex wielding our relationship as ammunition. He's hired a PI, she revealed. Photos of us surfaced, innocent but damning. Betrayal struck when a colleague, jealous of my promotion, leaked emails. The office exploded in gossip. Liliana faced scrutiny, her leadership questioned. It's because I'm a lesbian, she raged privately. The injustice fueled her but drained me. In a heated argument, I accused her of using me. Was this ever real? Hurt flashed in her eyes. How can you say that? We parted angry, the rift widening. Alone, I questioned everything. Had I traded stability for illusion? The pain of potential loss outweighed the joy. Reconciliation came via text. Meet me at our spot. At the park bench where we'd first confessed feelings, she waited. I'm sorry, we said in unison. But external pressures loomed. The court hearing was brutal. Her ex painted her as unfit, citing our immoral affair. Liliana testified with poise, but the judge's conservative lean worried us. Post-hearing, she collapsed. What if I lose them? Comforting her, I realized my own losses paled. Love demanded sacrifice. But a twist. Evidence showed her ex's abuse. The tide turned, custody retained. Relief washed over us, but scars remained. Back at work, resignation letters drafted. New beginnings, Liliana said. But was it? Quitting felt like jumping off a cliff, the wind rushing past as I handed in my notice. Personal reasons, I told HR, avoiding eyes that knew too much. Liliana followed suit days later. Her departure announced in a company-wide email praising her contributions. Whispers followed us out the door. They were together. You know, but freedom tasted bittersweet, laced with uncertainty. Starting over in Seattle's competitive tech scene was daunting. I freelanced, scraping by on gigs, while Liliana poured savings into her startup. We'll make it work, she promised, her optimism a lifeline. But late nights alone, bills piling up, tested that faith. Was this the cost of authenticity? Family estrangement deepened the wound. Calls from Mom went unanswered, her voicemails pleading. Come home, Luna. We can fix this. Fix me? The notion infuriated. Dad's email arrived. Your choices disappoint us. The words echoed my inner doubts. Had I chosen wrong? Liliana's kids adjusted slowly. Sophia warmed to me during visits, her innocent questions piercing. Are you Mom's girlfriend? We navigated carefully, explaining love in age-appropriate terms. But her son Mateo 8 resisted, echoing his father's bitterness. Dad says it's weird. The rejection stung, mirroring my own family's stance. Society's undercurrents surfaced in subtle ways. Apartment hunting, landlords raised eyebrows at two women. Job interviews where my resume's gap raised questions. Why leave Technova? Truth wasn't an option. Lies felt dirty. A networking event brought confrontation. An old colleague cornered me. You ruined Liliana's career. Defensiveness rose. No, prejudice did. But internally, guilt gnawed. Had my hesitation amplified the damage? Liliana's startup struggled initially. Investors balked at her personal drama. Whispers of instability. They see me as a risk, she confided, frustration boiling. I supported her, brainstorming pitches, but resentment simmered. Why bear her burdens? A breakthrough came. A venture capitalist, openly gay, invested. Your story inspires, she said. Momentum built, but success highlighted divides. Liliana thrived in the spotlight, while I grappled with identity. Coming out publicly via blog posts was my turning point. My journey to self-acceptance went viral in LGBTQ circles. Support flooded in but backlash, two trolls spewing hate. Disgusting. The vitriol hardened my resolve but exposed vulnerabilities. Liliana's ex struck again, filing for modification. Your lifestyle endangers the kids. Court again, testimonies raw. I took the stand defending our love. It's not a lifestyle, it's who we are. The judge ruled in our favor, but the emotional toll was immense. Post-victory, we celebrated quietly, but euphoria faded as old wounds reopened. I almost lost everything, Liliana murmured. Her words hinted at regret, sparking fear. Was I worth it? A family reunion invite arrived, my sister's wedding. Bring a +1, it said neutrally. Hope flickered. I RSVP'd for 2 testing waters. At the event in Idaho, tension crackled. Mom hugged stiffly, Dad nodded curtly. Whispers from relatives. That's her girlfriend. Liliana charmed where she could, but exclusion hurt. During toasts, my uncle's joke about traditional marriage landed like a bomb. Confrontation erupted post-ceremony. How could you bring her here? Mom hissed. Tears flowed. Because I love her, and you should love me. Dad intervened. We're trying, but it's hard. The partial acceptance was a crumb, but I clung to it. Back home, Liliana questioned. Was it worth the pain? Her doubt mirrored mine. Arguments escalated, old grievances resurfacing. You pushed me into this, I accused. You hesitated, she countered. A break seemed inevitable. Maybe space, she suggested. Heart-shattering, I agreed. Living apart, the void ached. Friends advised. Fight for it. But pride held back. Reflection came during therapy, recommended by Rachel. Explore your traumas, the counselor said. Sessions unearthed childhood repressions, societal conditioning. You're not broken, she affirmed. Liliana reached out. I miss you. Reconciliation dinner was tentative, apologies flowing. We both paid dearly, she admitted. Renewed commitment followed, but wariness lingered. Her startup boomed, offering me a role. Partners in every way. Accepting meant vulnerability, but refusal isolation. Society's shifts helped. More inclusive policies, visible queer role models. But personal battles persisted. A betrayal loomed. An investor, homophobic under the surface, pulled funding upon learning our story. Not aligning with values. Liliana raged but pivoted. Forgiveness was a choice fraught with debate. Trust is earned, I said. We work through it, therapy joint now. As stability returned, a proposal. Marry me. Her ring sparkled, but hesitation gripped me. Marriage? With all the baggage. The proposal hung in the air like a storm cloud. Liliana's eyes searching mine for an answer. I want forever with you, she said, voice trembling. But forever felt daunting. Shadowed by the scars we'd accumulated. I took the ring, slipping it on with a tentative smile, but inside questions swirled. Could we truly outrun the past? Wedding planning amplified conflicts. Venue choices sparked debates, something low-key to avoid attention, or bold to defy norms. Family involvement was thornier. My parents agreed to attend reluctantly, Mom's condition. No overt displays. Liliana's side was fractured. Her ex forbade the kids from coming, citing confusion. The exclusion devastated her. They're my world, she wept. I comforted, but resentment toward her ex festered. Court again? The cycle exhausted us. Society's mixed signals confused. Support from queer communities buoyed. But conservative backlash via online harassment drained. Your union mocks real marriage, one message read. Blocking helped, but the poison seeped in. Pre-wedding jitters peaked. A bachelorette party with friends turned introspective. Rachel toasted. To love against odds. But doubts voiced. Are you sure? Echoing my inner monologue. Liliana's confession came days before. I almost called it off once. Why? Fear of hurting you more. Transparency mended but trust frayed. The ceremony was intimate. A Seattle garden bathed in spring light. Vows exchanged. Through betrayals and triumphs. But as we kissed, applause mixed with absent faces haunted. Honeymoon in Hawaii offered respite. Beaches soothing wounds. Yet conversations turned deep. Did we sacrifice too much? Liliana pondered. My response. Love demands it. Return brought reality. Liliana's startup faced a lawsuit discrimination claim from a fired employee alleging favoritism toward me. It's baseless, she assured, but investigations reopened old pains. Media caught wind, tabloids twisting. Lesbian power couples scandal. Privacy invaded, we lawyered up. Victory came but reputation tarnished. Family reconciliation attempted. A visit to Idaho, kids in tow finally. Sophia bonded with my niece, Mateo thawed slightly. But Dad's sermon-like talk. I pray for your souls. Tolerance, not acceptance. Liliana's inner struggle surfaced. Sometimes I wonder if straight was easier. The admission shocked. But I chose you. Her words reassured but seeded doubt. A major decision loomed. Adoption. Let's build our family, she suggested. Excitement warred with fear, agencies' biases, societal judgments. Process began, home studies probing. Stable relationship? Yes, but the scrutiny unearthed insecurities. Betrayal hit unexpectedly. My sister, jealous of attention, leaked family drama to gossip sites. For your own good, she claimed. Hurt exploded. How could you? Confrontation via call. You're living in sin. The rift widened, siblings estranged. Liliana stood by. We'll create our own family. Strength in unity, but isolation grew. Therapy continued, unpacking layers. Trauma from rejection, counselor noted. Progress slow but enlightening. Startup success brought opportunities. Speaking engagements on LGBTQ rights. Liliana shone, advocating. I joined, finding voice. But a health scare, Liliana's routine check revealing a lump. Benign thankfully, but mortality loomed. Life's short, she reflected. Priorities shifted. Kids' custody stabilized, co-parenting improved. Her ex softened, perhaps. Mâu thuẫn đạo đức aro. A client for the startup, conservative, demanded discretion about our marriage. Hide it. Liliana refused, losing the deal. Pride swelled but finances strained. Debate ensued. Principles over practicality? I argued compromise, she stood firm. Tension mounted. Resolution. Diversify clients. Success followed, integrity intact. Personal growth. I wrote a book on our journey. Shattered worlds, rebuilt hearts. Cathartic but exposing. Reviews mixed, inspiring to some, controversial to others. Debates online. Is outing worth the cost? As life normalized, a twist. My parents' surprise visit. We want to understand. Tentative bridges built over dinner, stories shared. Tears, apologies. We were wrong. Healing began, incomplete but real. Liliana's gratitude. Your persistence paid off. But scars reminded, damage done. Adoption advanced, a baby girl on horizon. Joy tempered by fears. Raising her in a judgmental world. Reflection. Choices defined us, right, wrong, gray. The adoption day arrived like a dawn after endless night. The courtroom buzzing with finality as we signed papers for little Elena. Her tiny hand in mine felt like redemption, a tangible win against the odds we'd faced. But as we left, Liliana's eyes held a shadow, the cumulative toll of battles fought, from courtrooms to hearts. Settling into parenthood amplified joys and strains. Sleepless nights with Elena's cries, but her smiles healed fractures. Liliana balanced CEO duties with diaper changes, her resilience awe-inspiring. Yet whispers from playgroups. Two moms. Judgmental glances reminded us normalcy was illusion. Family integration progressed unevenly. My parents visited, cooing over Elena, but awkwardness lingered. She's beautiful, Mom said, avoiding deeper talks. Dad's gift. A Bible with highlighted passages on love progress? Or subtle proselytizing? Liliana's kids adapted, Sophia calling Elena sis. Mateo warming gradually. Co-parenting with her ex evolved to civility. Shared holidays tentative. Society's evolution helped. Laws protecting queer families, cultural shifts. But backlash persisted, school forms lacking options, neighbors' stares. A career pivot for me. Consulting on diversity, leveraging our story. Empowering but exhausting, reliving traumas. Liliana's confession during a quiet evening. I betrayed your trust once. What? Early on, I considered ending it to protect my kids. The revelation stung, reopening wounds. Why now? Forgiveness tested, but understanding dawned. Fear drove her. Rebuilding trust through actions, joint decisions, open communication. A major conflict arose. Elena's baptism pushed by my family. For tradition. Liliana resisted. Not our beliefs. Compromise. Or stand ground. Debate heated. It's harmless, I argued. It's conformity, she countered. Resolution. No, preserving authenticity. Family disappointed but boundaries set. Public speaking increased, our narrative inspiring youth. A teen emailed. You gave me hope. Worth the exposure. But a damaging article surfaced. Ex-employees tell all, twisting facts. Manipulative relationship. Lawsuit ensued, truth prevailing but stress mounted. Health revisited. My anxiety diagnosis, therapy intensifying. Process the losses, counselor urged. Liliana's startup went public, success monumental. Media frenzy. Queer icons rise. Pride mixed with invasion. Amid glamour, a quiet moment. Was it all worth it? Her answer. Yes, for us. Elena's first steps symbolize forward motion. Family united in cheers. Yet societal mouthwash persisted. A bill threatening rights, protests joined. Activism became part of life.
Personal awakening. Accepting fluidity, no labels rigid.
As years blurred, reflections deepened. Choices coming out, loving boldly brought pain but growth. In the end, our story wasn't fairy tale but real. Fraught with betrayals, sacrifices, redemptions. Was it right to pursue love at such a cost? Or should societal norms have prevailed?